This is a recap of November 2021 announcements and updates for Teams Calling and Teams Phone. So my name's Martin Bowman, an architect in the Centre of Excellence. Let's go through and see what we're going to talk about in this session. So we're going to look at and cover what's new in Teams Calling. That includes Teams Phone and Teams devices. We're also going to look at the roadmap updates, what's launched, rolling out, what's added in development, and this is all catered around Teams Calling and Teams Phones. This is not all the Teams roadmap. I'd love to do that, but I'd be here for a bit more time. This is just all picked for Teams Calling. So a little bit of introduction into this. You can go and download the deck of this as well. That is available, aka.ms/what's new calling. All updates here are relevant to Teams Calling, Teams Phone, and Teams devices. All subject to change, dates change, timings are subject to change. For a complete Teams roadmap, please go and check out the M365 roadmap. So some of the highlights in November. So all this information is pulled from the Teams blogs, roadmap. So within calling, custom music on hold is available, route calls to unassigned numbers. So we previously had that in Skype for Business Enterprise Voice. You can do that in Teams. Define custom call park ranges. So we had call park before, but now we can actually define start range, end range, and timeout. So we can customize that. Also recently announced is Operator Connect conferencing as well. So you can now bring your own conferencing operator into audio conferencing into your Teams meetings. Announced on Monday this week was SIP Gateway. So now you can connect compatible legacy SIP phones to Teams and bring some core calling functionality into that as well. And also there was a update to the Teams Phone SLAs, and that's to reflect commitment to quality. Teams devices, there's also fun updates, remote sign up from Teams Admin Center. SBA has support for Teams Phones devices. So that's something I've seen on the roadmap and people asking about support for those. Audio conferencing have a new Audiocodes have a newly certified device, as well as Room, Microsoft Teams Rooms devices as well. And under management, I've added Surface Hub device type support in Teams Admin Center. So let's go and have a look at these in a bit more detail. So we'll first touch on Teams Calling. Let's have a look at this first one. So custom music on hold. So now this is launched. So tenant administrators can configure the audio that is being played to PSTN callers when they're placed on hold. So this is just for PSTN, so more around Teams Phone. So if I call into a user who's enabled for Teams Phone, that user puts me on hold, as you can see in the screenshot. I can now listen to custom music. Although I really like the Teams hold music, I've got quite used to it. I can now define and have a custom audio file. I have to configure this with PowerShell and upload the audio file. So I need to make sure the audio file is the right type, size. I also need to make sure that I've got the royalties to that music or the audio that is being played, or it's royalty free. So you can't just go stick anything that you want. You need to make sure that you have the rights to do that. Once you've uploaded the audio file, you can create a custom hold policy and apply that to your users. So I've tested and used this. Worked great. There are some sources out there you can get some royalty-free music. So go check that out, unless you're really happy with the default Teams hold music. It's quite cool, but now we can have our own. So you could have customized announcements for people on hold. So you could say, for example, your call is important, you're just on hold. So we can put some customization. So that's great to see that we've got that in there now. Route calls to unassigned numbers. So this I have configured for customers with Skype for Business Enterprise Voice. So now, for example, if we have some calling plan numbers or some numbers that are not assigned to anyone or anything, so that could be a call queue, an auto attendant, we can now route a caller to that number to either a call queue, an auto attendant, or an announcement file or a music file. So instead, if we don't use this, if a person calls a number it's unassigned or not assigned to anyone, anything, that call would drop or say not connected. So now we can put some customization around that, which is great. Again, this is through PowerShell, but you can go and configure this and create unassigned number policies. Just make sure when you go and configure this, go check the PowerShell, because it is slightly different to whether you're routing it to a resource account, which would be for a call queue auto attendant, or if you're doing it to an announcement file or a music file. So that's launched. I've tested, works. Custom call park. So we've had call park for a while in Teams. So now we can put a caller on hold. We can put them in a parking lot. That, when we put it into a call park, it gives us a number. And then we can communicate that number to someone to say, hey, there is a caller on line 99, or go pick up. So any person can go to any Teams device, go into park calls, enter in the number, and they can pick up that call. I've seen this mostly used when I go to a DIY shop and I hear on the tannoy, hey, can somebody pick up this call on XXX number? Somebody can walk up to a phone and pick up the person who's on hold. So now we can define custom start range, end range, also call handling timeouts as well. So the timeout, if nobody answers that call, it would call back to the person who put that on hold. So now we can have custom ranges, which is great to see. We can have some customization around that. Operator Connect conferencing. So now this is generally available. So now you are able to bring your own operators for audio conferencing in Teams. Now, this is only for a number of operators at the moment who are participating in the program. So there's BT, T-Mobile, NTT, Intrado, Orange Business Services, Telenor. Yeah, I think that's all. So there's a variety of operators available at your fingertips, expanded geographic dialing coverage. So Microsoft have quite extensive audio conferencing number ranges and availability, but now you can take advantage perhaps of existing operators, and you can have expanded geographic dialing coverage as well. So where Microsoft can't provide, partner with our operators and they can provide. Being a qualified operator, you get enhanced support, reliability. It says there a tight partnership with operators provide enhanced technical support, service level agreements, and address reliability. So I think similar to Operator Connect, they are qualified operators. They have direct connectivity to ensure quality and reliability as well. So if you need or have existing audio conferencing providers, go check them out and see if you can bring those into Teams, or you can obviously use Microsoft audio conferencing numbers as well. So great to see that partnership there. SIP Gateway. So this one allows you to bring with you legacy handsets or SIP handsets and connect them into Teams. So currently SIP Gateway, there is some compatible handsets from Cisco, Poly or Polycom, Yealink, and Audiocodes as well. So there's a number of different vendors there. What you need to make sure is that they are compatible handsets that have been tested and also are on a minimum firmware version as well. So this is perhaps you have a large investment of these handsets. You don't want at day one to replace them with feature-rich Teams phone handsets. You can use these and connect them to SIP Gateway. So there's no costs, providing you've got the licenses for Teams phone, there's no costs to go and connect these phones to that. There could be, however, with Cisco, you do need to have an MPP firmware. So I've tested with Poly, Yealink, Audiocodes, and you can freely get the firmware that is needed to do that. And SIP Gateway is really aimed at helping customers leverage existing legacy telephony hardware as they move to Teams phones. We don't have to rip out all the phones. We can do that in a phased approach, take time to assess. Now you do get only core calling functionality, so they're inbound, outbound, call transfer, meeting, dial in, dial out, voicemail, device-based, do not disturb. So you do get a lot of functionality, but it doesn't give you the feature-rich functionality of a Teams phone device. But great to see SIP Gateway here, and I think we'll only be building on that. So that's great to see. It's been in preview for a while, but now it's generally available. The updated Teams phone SLAs. So Microsoft Teams Phone delivers on the premise of reliable PSTN service through proactive network monitoring, automated system optimization, fault tolerance, redundancy, supported by Microsoft. So we've updated the SLAs for Teams calling, plans, phone system, and PSTN audio conferencing to 99.99% uptime. So I'm not going to go into this in too much detail. You can click go learn more. There is the blog article there in there. So obviously check the definitions in there. So this SLA, I did put a note, this does not cover outages caused by failure of third-party software, equipment, or services not controlled by Microsoft, or Microsoft software not being run by Microsoft as part of the service, e.g. third-party PBX solutions integrated into Teams. So just be careful. Great to see this has been updated, the SLAs and the uptime of 99.99. But just make sure that you're up to speed on those SLAs. So that's everything for the calling announcements in November. So now in devices, there's a number of announcements here that we can have a quick look through. So remote sign out from Teams Admin Center. So as an extension of remote provisioning capabilities launched earlier this year, you can now sign out of Teams Android devices from the Admin Center. And this is generally available for phones and Teams displays. Admins can easily provision from the Teams Admin Center. So that's in development for the remote sign out at the moment. SBA support on Teams phones. So as it says here, given the importance of uninterrupted voice services, pleased to announce that branch office survivability for phones is generally available, enabling PSTN calls even when a network connection is unavailable. So here we can add some branch site resiliency, not just for Teams desktop clients, but also for phone devices as well. So that's great to see. That's launched. So newly certified devices, Audiocodes of a C455 HD IP phone. So this is the latest Microsoft Teams certified IP phone from Audiocodes, feature-rich, high-end business phone packed with the latest technology. For delivering a seamless Microsoft Teams experience, equipped with a large, intuitive 5-inch color display for exceptional ease of use, stunning HD sound quality, ensures every conversation is productive. That sounds a very nice handset. So you can see a picture there. That looks good. Into some Microsoft Teams rooms with Yealink. So Yealink UVC86 4K dual eye tracking camera for medium and large rooms. So this is a camera with a panoramic camera, detects participants in real time, and a PTZ, pan tilt zoom camera to capture the best picture of everyone in the room. 12 times optical zoom, 90-degree field of view, suitable for medium and large rooms. So go check out Yealink. Another one from Yealink, the MBC 660, Microsoft Teams rooms for medium rooms. So this system here includes the UVC 86 4K. That we just spoke about, gives you the best picture of everyone in the room. This is built up of a smart M-Speech speakerphone covering medium space audio, M-Core mini PC, M-Touch 2 touch panel. So solution enables users to enjoy a seamless Teams meeting in medium-sized rooms. Looks good. Then when we look at the highlights, so last month in October, there was the announcements from Ignite, Operator Connect was generally available, Teams calling plans, market expansion. There's the public preview of end-to-end encryption for one-to-one Teams calls. There was more newly certified devices, and announcements around SIP Gateway, E911. So those innovations, SIP Gateway now generally available. We just spoke about that. So next, we'll just look at the roadmap for November. So this is the changes in November. So some new items have been added for calling, roaming bandwidth control. So under devices, switch between multiple video cameras in Teams rooms on Windows. Teams devices dashboard for device analytics. Teams device management Surface Hub, hot desking on Teams display, check-in and room release for panels. Sign out from the Teams Admin Center on Teams displays. So in development in calling, end-to-end encryption, that was announced last month. Dynamic emergency calling, that should be coming, I think, the start of this year. We've got any others in there? Devices, Teams casting, a lot for Teams rooms, and launched branch office survivability on Teams phones. And so we spoke about that as well. So that's a really quick roundup of a recap of November for Teams calling. So I hope you found that useful, and join me next month when we go through December's. Thank you.